Hello, everyone. I'm Lori Theriot from Work It, and today I have the pleasure of giving the microphone to Richard Thomas, who is going to host today's interview with Nancy McCloskey of United Way's Walsh Summer Work Experience program out of Bristol, Connecticut. So I'm excited to share some great information with all of you out there. Today's podcast is sponsored by workitcareers.com. So please visit the website for helping yourselves find your perfect job in life. So, Richard Thomas, I give you the microphone.
Hi everyone, Richard Thomas from Bristol, Connecticut, Walsh Summer Work Experience program, and working for Lori with Work It. I'm going to be interviewing Nancy today from the Walsh Summer Work Experience program. And hi, Nancy.
Hi, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right, so let's start this interview about the Walsh Summer Work Experience program. My first question for you is, what exactly is the Walsh program, and when about did it start, and how did it start?
Well, the Walsh Summer Work Experience Program is a career exploration and work readiness program. And first of all, I'd like to say I'm overjoyed that you're one of the 30 students we have this summer and you're doing my interview. So I'm just beaming with pride. I'm having trouble speaking. I'm smiling so widely here, but I'll do my best. So the Walsh Summer Work Experience Program is, like I said, it's a work experience program. So we have a combination of real work experience, such as what you're doing here today. We have 29 other students as well out in our local community doing work experience at work sites, from Bristol Hospital to our local museums to some privately owned companies and retailers. So we select the students in the springtime, working with the local guidance departments at our schools. You have to be age 16 and up and in school to participate in our program. So we work along with the guidance departments on their recommendations as to who would be most suitable and benefit most by our program. And then they go, as you know, they go through a rigorous interview process and their application process, even including an essay as to how their life would change and benefit by being a participant in the summer work experience program. And I could ask you too, by the way, how you felt when you got called in for an interview and then when you came to your interview. So why don't I turn the table for a second and ask you about that?
Okay, so when I first initially signed up for the Walsh Summer Work Experience program, I was just expecting some little job just for a paycheck, but it was so much more than that. It was the interview skills and everything. And actually going in for the interview, I was super nervous. And then actually being there, I only expected one-on-one, but there was actually three of you, Lori, and Emily. So that was pretty scary. But it's life lessons, and it's very important to learn.
Right. And you touched on the other really important component of the program. Aside from the work experience, we offer career readiness skills. So the first week of the program, all 30 students are in a classroom with us, learning everything they need to know to be successful at the work sites that we're going to place them at. Mm-hmm. And then each subsequent Friday during the 7-week program, you guys are all back in class with us. We're doing debriefing. We're talking about any issues or problems you might have had on your jobs. And all the while, we're fronting up all those life skills and all that social and emotional intelligence that you're all going to need to be successful in your continued careers and in life. We have everything from guests such as the etiquette expert Karen Thomas. We had an awesome employer panel, as you know, a couple weeks ago. We had 3 local employers come in with decades of expertise among them, and the students got to ask them questions about their lives and their careers and hopefully draw inspiration from them and a lot of insight too. So we try to do a well-rounded program, and the staff, myself, Lori Theriot, and Emily Rivora, we have knowledge and background. So we just really try to employ best practices in what we think would be beneficial to the students in the program. So in a nutshell, that's the Walsh Work Experience program.
Sounds pretty good. I really do believe that from the start and I'm in the middle, but I believe towards the end, it's going to be very beneficial for all the 30 students and teens, and it really can be the first step to the teens and students' lives.
And you asked how it started. Well, I'll tell you a little bit about that. I worked in youth employment programs for many decades at an agency previous to United Way. And one year when the state funded program, which was really the main summer program in our region, when it was in jeopardy of losing funding, and it made actual TV news here in Connecticut. So Tim Walsh happened to be sitting in his living room in Connecticut, and he had an affiliation with the summer program many decades ago when he was a college student himself. And he was watching the news, and he thought to himself, now being a success in the world of work, he thought to himself, how can I help this situation? So he called the local agency that was still functioning that he used to work at, the Bristol Community Organization, and he said to the director at the time, if I give you X amount of dollars, can you serve another 7 students? And so he, of course, said yes, and that's how the program began. So it was very small and it was very informal. You know, the money went directly to the agency, and since then, it's expanded exponentially to 30 students for the last several years, and the money now is channeled through the Main Street Community Foundation. They're a large foundation here in our town, running many philanthropic programs, including this one. So that's how it started. And as I said, it had just grown. And 3 years ago, the United Way took over sponsorship of the program, and myself went along with that. So it's just been a pleasure and a joy. And we've loved every single class we've had, including your class, Richard. So
Thank
I'm
you.
getting nostalgic just thinking about it coming to a conclusion in a couple weeks.
Yeah. So big shout out to Tim Walsh for all that. And my next question is actually, what is your favorite part of the Walsh program?
Everybody wants me to say the food, and let me just get that out of the way. Okay, yes. Well, we do have a large budget for this program that includes many components, and it's very difficult for me to pick just one favorite part, but we try to give our students a well-rounded experience. We also have some field trips, I should mention, so that's definitely a line item in the budget. This year, we were fortunate enough to have some local career exploration at 2 great Bristol companies, Bristol Hospital and A.G. Russell. So half of our students went on each of those field trips on the same day. And that's one component that's really a big favorite. Another thing that we do the very first week of the program to promote team building and problem solving is go to the Pine Lake Challenge course too. So all of you did that on the 5th day of the program. But yes, the food, we do have a healthy food budget, because when we see all of you in the classroom, you're just getting there at 9 o'clock in the morning. And we really feel that a nice, nutritious start to the day will help you learn and pay attention and listen a lot better and just have more energy. And yeah, I like the way you're nodding enthusiastically because we also provide a nice lunch for everyone, and I think that's actually a nice reward for everyone to know that, you know, it's really they're really making an important impact in the community, even by being in this program. And all of our work sites we'll talk about, I guess, in a little while. They all agree to the impact that the students are making in the community. So the other favorite part is not really just one part, it's a whole. It's a continuum from seeing the students come to the program that initial very first day when you're all together in class for the first time, and everyone is so quiet and you don't all know each other at all. Maybe some of you are acquainted, but not everyone. And we joke because we get the breakfast snacks together and everyone is so shy and new, they don't even get up to have breakfast snacks on the first day. They don't want to budge from their seats. But by day 3 or so, we're already going shopping for some more Pop Tarts and granola bars.
Great.
So it's a joy to see everyone get more comfortable with one another. And then to the end of the program, which I got a little glimpse of, you know, when you're together every Friday, you're all friends. There's absolutely been no animosity or dust ups of any sort. Everyone's just got each other's back. And I see different people interacting with someone different all the time. You know, so I'm happy to say it's not cliquey. It's just you really are all there for one another, and that's been a joy to see. And still have 2 more weeks to go. So by the end, yeah, you know, there's really been a huge change in each and every one of you, learning your work experience and the confidence you're gaining from that, and the social and emotional intelligence, the right decisions you're making all along, and your behavior. So I think that might imply that it's all my favorite part.
Yeah, I'll be glad to tell you that I met some of my closest friends from this year's group. Yeah, Ryan.
And I'm glad to hear that. I'm happy.
Yeah, one of my favorite parts is the food also. So I know you said this program is for anyone 16 and up. Is there a limit for how old you have to be?
Not really. There's no upper age limit, but you do have to be in school. So I believe
Okay.
our oldest participant's 20, and he's still in school, high school.
Okay. So I asked about your favorite part. So tell me about the biggest challenge in youth employment.
Well, I think the biggest challenge in youth employment overall is the lack of career readiness skills and life skills and social and emotional intelligence. I'm really not seeing that in most of the students today, and I'm not sure it's emphasized enough in the schools that you all attend. So that's where we come in. We really focus on that aspect of it. Some things we talk about, like in etiquette class, like I briefed you on even yesterday, is when you're greeting an adult and you're sitting, it's really respectful to leap to your feet and meet that person at eye level and shake their hand. So we practice handshakes. We practice handshakes the very first week, and we got a little glimpse of your handshakes or not shaking hands when you came in for the interviews. So we didn't really take the lead. We just kind of sat as you saw, and then some students grabbed our hands and shook them enthusiastically, and some students grabbed our hands and shook them very limply, and some just ran out in fear. Okay. And those students didn't necessarily scare us off and not get the job. Those are the ones that we might have selected because they need us. So we had all different kinds of mindset in thinking about that. And so it's impossible for us to really cover all of the gray area of social and emotional intelligence that everyone needs. But I think we empower you to try to think proactively about how to handle any situation that you're going to encounter in life and in the work world.
Yeah, definitely.
So I hope you've learned a lot. What about you?
Yes, I've learned so much about etiquette skills, interview skills, standing up to shake hands and introduce yourself, and I'm really ready to take on the real world now.
I think you are too.
All right, so my next question is about you and what do you do other than the Summer Walsh Work Experience program?
Yes, at United Way, I was actually hired to work with the Walsh Summer Work Experience program. So I thought that was going to be it, but then I was luckily offered a year-round position, and I have a number of different programs that fit in with United Way's initiative of health, education, and financial stability of all the community members in the communities that we serve. So I love all my projects. I like to say all my projects are perfect for me, and I'm perfect for all my projects. That's definitely my saying. So, one program that I work with, for example, is the United Way Youth Board, which is coincidentally another group of 30 students. 5 students from each of the high schools in all the towns that we represent. So, the 3 Bristol high schools, including St. Paul, Terryville, Plainville, and Burlington. And they each send 5 representative students to our monthly youth board meetings. And again, they perform community service, they do fundraising, they have some great projects. They participate in our Joy of Sharing seasonal projects. So they help us collect Christmas gifts for the community, for those less fortunate, and also the food for the Joy of Sharing food program. They help out at the youth parade that we have around holiday time. They have their own special projects, such as the Senior Citizen Prom for the last few years, where they put together a large prom at our local senior center. Over 150 seniors attend, and they spend many hours planning it. So each prom has a theme. For example, this year's theme was 1950s, and the senior citizens really embraced that theme since they remember very well the 1950s, and seeing their outfits, the way they dressed, was really fun. Some of them might have even been original to the 1950s. On the other hand, it's also really fun and funny to see the students who had to Google the 1950s. They really didn't even know anything about the 1950s. And so after they gathered their information, they were able to have decorations and themes and music that were representative of the theme. So again, that's another group that it's really a joy to see grow as the year goes on. They come together as a new group in September, and then by the end of the year, they're definitely bonded together as a team that have accomplished a lot.
I'd say so.
So that's really helpful. Another program that I work with is the Kids in the Middle for middle schoolers. They each have a coordinator at each of their respective schools. And again, all they really do is just go out into the community and help soup kitchens and food pantries and parks and all kinds of organizations. And so they learn skills like that, working together, teamwork, projects. They go to nursing homes. They do a lot of really valuable work in the community that really has a ripple effect of helping everyone from old to young. So I'm proud of what they do too. And hopefully they grow into our future leaders and maybe become youth board members. So interesting to see that kind of progression. And then
Yeah, that'd be amazing to see that.
the other thing I do is I work with the Triad and the SALT Council. So the SALT Council stands for Seniors and Law Enforcement Together, and it brings together our local law enforcement from all the towns we serve and senior community members and community partners that benefit senior citizens and help the health and quality of their lives and keep them safe. So we have a monthly meeting where all of those three entities are represented, and we talk about fraud prevention. We talk about local events coming up that are beneficial to seniors. And we even have our own annual event, a conference. So usually we have vendor tables and speakers at our conference. So I feel like that's another really worthwhile initiative that ironically we're all going to grow into needing. So we either need it now or know someone who needs it. So all those
Sure.
programs are a big joy.
Yeah. Okay. So hopping back onto the Summer Walsh Work Experience program, I know before the week where we learned our career readiness skills, we took a personality test and took a 7-step career plan. Can you tell me your opinion on that?
Well, that's been a super important component that we were overjoyed to make the acquaintance of Lori Theriault just last year. And so we have enacted that only for the second year here. So that's been just a huge improvement to our program because, again, when students come in, they really have not necessarily had an idea of what they want to do. And they're at a critical juncture where they need to start thinking about it, often juniors and seniors in high school. So it's really been beneficial for them to meet preliminary to the program with Lori and have the personality test and all the testing that she does and map out a 7-step career plan. So by the time we're ready to match them with a work site in our community, they already have a great idea of their skills and interests and abilities. So we do our best to kind of do that matching. And we just run with and spin off of that plan during all of our discussions in the summertime so that the students really get to wear their career goal on them all summer long and acclimate to that and feel it and start to believe it on the road to becoming it.
Yeah.
Such as you.
Yeah.
Do you want to be a great example and tell us about how you came to your career plan?
Okay. So I came in for the personality test and I learned about maybe 7 strengths of mine. And with those 7 strengths, I learned that my career path of meteorology was a great fit for me because I'm outgoing and I like public speaking. And then once we did the 7-step career plan, I made a legacy for myself and I'm now motivated and driven to reach those goals. So I believe that for the other 29 students, they feel the same way.
Yeah, I agree, definitely.
Okay, the last thing I want to talk about is just the other day we had a reunion with the last years and the years before United Way kids plus ours. So tell me how perfect that went.
Well, I'm still riding high from it, and it's so funny because I was a little nervous planning this alumni reunion and hoping everything went well because we had special guests, Tim and Mary Walsh, the donors of the program, and Main Street Community Foundation, our funders. So I was a little nervous planning it. So the night before, I was a little restless sleeping, thinking about it. But what's funny is yesterday was our reunion. So last night, I think I spent even more time awake. Just my head was reeling from all the excitement of the day. So, but I still feel pretty energized today,
Yeah.
right? Because we're still just like so happy about how it went. I think it started as a concept because of the way we see each class bond, the way that you're seeing your class bonding right now. So each class bonded similarly, really, and it occurred to us, and actually as an idea of the donor too, Tim Walsh, wanting to see the students again and follow up on them and see how the program shaped and influenced them, maybe going forward. So that's what we ran with, and we contacted the other year's students, 2017 and 2018, the first 2 years that United Way again had the sponsorship. And we had a great turnout. We thought we had a great turnout of alumni. Some are busy working, of course, which is a good thing. And they came to our picnic with us, and we had a great program where we got to hear the alumni speak and talk about how the program influenced them and what they learned from the program. And then your class also got to learn some great advice from each of them. We asked them for what tidbits of advice they might want to give the current Walsh program students. And so I think they were overjoyed to share their knowledge and expertise and to be kind of the upperclassmen. So I could see them being overjoyed, reuniting with each other. And it got really sentimental at the end of the day yesterday, thinking about your group of 30 and imagining fast forwarding to next year when we have another alumni reunion, just imagining the joy that you're all going to feel reuniting together as a group. I bet your group's going to be the biggest alumni group. And seeing each of you too grow taller and grow up and grow more poised and grow more mature is just so rewarding to us in what we do. So, I look forward to that. I'm looking at you now. I'm sorry I'm staring because I'm getting a mental picture, and I'll see you next year.
Yeah, I'll definitely be there next year. So yeah, I really think that this program is amazing, and it really stinks that it's only 30 students. It can't be the whole world, but it is what it is. And I think that any student that gets into the program should take it and run with it because it's a huge opportunity. And yeah, thank you so much for being here to let me interview you.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm enormously proud of you and the other 29 too.
Thank
And
you.
it's been my joy to be here, so you're welcome.